The race is on, and you have 5 months to transform the humble town of Fairview into one of the greatest theme parks the world has ever seen. That's right, we're going to be reviewing the 1 to 4 player game Tenpenny Parks from Thunderworks Games. Like I mentioned before, Tenpenny Parks is played over 5 rounds, and you and everybody else around the table are trying to compete to build the best theme park. If you are not aware of how to play this game, I'm actually going to be giving you a really quick overview of how this game plays, and then we'll jump back here and I'll share my thoughts on this game. Welcome to a game of Tenpenny Parks. Now for this overview, I will have the game set up for 2 players. So we have player 1 as yellow and player 2 as purple. Each player will receive their own personal little grounds card, along with a bunch of trees that they will place in the appropriate locations on those cards, a set of meeples, $7, and then they are dealt 3 of these objective cards, and they will pick 2 to hold on to. These basically just, if you are able to meet the demands of these cards, you get victory points at the end of the game. The player that has most recently rode a roller coaster gets this shovel marker indicating that they are the first player. Now, a game of Tenpenny Parks is played over 5 months, basically just 5 different rounds, which is indicated and shown right here on the side of the board. Each month, players will take turns placing workers on the game board and basically taking different actions, trying to grow out the best theme park. So let's do a really brief overview of what each month or each round looks like in this game. The game comes with these little player aids for each players, which kind of goes through what each round looks like. So we'll kind of go through each of those. So the first step in each round is the income step. So during the income step, players will take $3 from the supply, as well as any income that they might have on any concession tiles or attraction cards, which are placed in your little plot of land at the time. The next step that you can do is the action step. So starting with the player who has the shovel token and then proceeding clockwise, each player places 1 worker that they have, so everybody has 3 workers, on any of the action spots which are located on the board. And this will just continue to go around and around until no more workers can be placed. So let's talk about the different areas on the board and what they can do for you. So the first action space that you can go or you can place your worker on is actually this carousel here. So this is where you go to purchase these attractions to then add to your plot of land. So for example, this Kraken wheel, it shows that it is the base cost is $3. It's worth 1 victory point, and then by building it, you get to advance on the joy track, which we'll talk about in just a second. It's nice because in the corner of all the cards, it shows the exact size, so you can kind of plan out on your field where you could potentially place this. But something to keep in mind is based on where the wheel is, the prices of these attractions can either increase or decrease. So for example, this is 3 right now, but if somebody were to rotate this in the future, then this would actually be 5 because of the little +2, which is showing here. So for example, if I did really want this, I would go ahead, place my worker here, and then I would have to spend the $5, which then I will be able to collect this card, and then I search through the tiles, and I'm able to find this tile and then add it to my board. When you go ahead and purchase these attractions, they will come with each attraction has a matching cardboard tile, and it's these tiles that you will be adding to your plot of land here. But there are really strict rules in regards to placing these on your patch of land. So let's chat about that really quick. So whenever a player places a new tile, either a concession or an attraction, onto your property, there are some rules that you have to follow. The first is that there cannot be any overlap. So for example, you could not place this like this because it is completely covering up the other attractions. The next thing that you cannot do is you cannot have it overhanging the board. So you can't go off of the property that you currently have. But the really tricky one that you kind of need to remember is there cannot be any adjacency. So for example, this tile cannot be in this particular spot because it is fully touching this star captain placed right here. Attractions are able to touch corners. So if it would fit right there, then it could. But where it is right now, it is not allowed to go there. So instead, I guess I will just go ahead and place this right here. Now, if you notice, when I placed that, it actually covered up this little icon here. Every time you cover up an icon, that means that you get to gain or do that particular ability. So what this one is it's saying that I can advance on the track up here at the bottom of the board here. I can advance one of any of the 3 colors. So let's chat a little bit about what this little track at the bottom of the board means. So this here is the emotion track. Now, concession tiles and attraction cards, they all have emotion icons on them. So whenever you purchase one that has an icon on it, or like we just talked about, if you cover up one on your property, then you are able to advance along this track. These tracks are really important because at the end of each month, whoever makes it furthest gets some sort of bonus that the other people don't. These corners of the board here are showing the other places that you are also able to place your workers, which we'll chat about in just a second. But it's important to know that on those other 4 places, any number of workers could go there. But on these building tiles or on this carousel, only one person can occupy a spot at a time. So because I just purchased the Kraken Whirl from this location, now when it goes to the second player's turn, they're not allowed to place somebody there. We're going to briefly chat about the other locations on the board now. So for the banker, it's free to go here, but this is where you come to collect money. So if you place a worker here, for example, if I were to do this, I would be able to collect 2 money from the bank. The next location is this realtor here. It does cost $3 to go here, but when you go here, you are able to collect one of these little sideboards that you can place alongside either side of your terrain area in order to give you more space. So this helps make your locations bigger. This next location, again, it's free, and this is where you go to clear trees from your board. So you can't clear all of them, but when you do go here, you can pick any 2 trees on your board. And then the final spot you can go to here is the contractor. Again, when you go here, it's free to go to, but you are able to collect one of these concessions, add them to your board, and some of these concessions help generate money for you. Some help you advance along the tracks along the bottom. They all kind of do different things, but they kind of help fill up your board. And the next phase of the game is the bonus step, so you will receive bonuses along this emotion track here. Now we are on to the advertising step. So all of the rides or attractions that you purchase, you can choose to spend money in order to basically just gain victory points. So at that point, all the players around the table can choose which attractions they would like to advertise for. And finally, we're on to the last round, which is just simply the cleanup step. So just refreshing the concession stand here, so wiping and refilling. Then you will return all of the workers that are on the board to your own personal supply again. You will also rotate the carousel. So whoever, again, based on the bonus track, whoever has the shovel gets to decide where they would like to rotate the board or the carousel, excuse me. And then the last thing you do is just simply advance the month marker. So we are currently on the 1st month. We would go ahead and advance it to the 2nd month. So the game will end once the 5th month is complete. Players will then begin to add up points. So they will add up the points for the goals, the specific kind of secret goals that they were able to accomplish throughout the game. They will also tally up their points from the attractions that they were able to build, the emotion bonus that people might get, and then also attraction count bonus. And then the player who has the most victory points at the end of the game will win. So jumping into my thoughts on this game, I usually like to start off talking about all of the stuff that I enjoyed about it. I absolutely adore the artwork and the components in this game. I am obsessed with all of the artwork on the individual rides. It just, something about it just feels almost like nostalgic to me. Everything just visually looks beautiful. The production of this game is insane. All of these little cardboard pieces, I don't think I've ever played a game that has cardboard pieces as thick and as sturdy and as heavy duty as the ones found in this game. Every single cardboard piece, like the money, the attractions, everything is just really, really thick cardboard. It feels well put together. This little carousel here at the top of the board, it's nice because once you put it together, you never have to put it together again. It stays together relatively well, and it is just so cute and so fun. It's so fun just to have, like, it feels like a circus tent, and it's fun just to be able to kind of have this tactile element on the board. I truly just love the overall production of this game. They knocked it out of the park. I think it was very, very, very well put together and produced. Kind of coming back to the tent here, another thing I really liked is just the mechanism of the pricing wheel. It's kind of fun because the prices are always fluctuating, and if you are able to, be the one with the shovel at the beginning of the next round, then you can choose to rotate this circus here. And so that's kind of fun. I really loved these tracks that are here at the bottom of the board, the Thrill, Awe, and Joy track. It's fun because you're working on your own little puzzle in regards to, managing your workers efficiently, but then you're also trying to puzzle out your own little property board. But the whole time you're doing that, you're also in the back of your mind trying to figure out ways to get to the top of these tracks. Do I really want that ride? Because this other ride, if I'm able to get it, it would advance me 3 along the Awe track, which then would put me in the lead. And so it's just that little puzzle of, just that kind of third puzzle going on here, which makes it enjoyable. Now, it took me a couple plays to kind of fully understand and realize that this game, really at its core, it's an efficiency game. You're very, very limited every single month or round in the game because you only have 3 workers, and so really the core, I feel like the core puzzle behind this game, like, yes, it's worker placement, yes, it's tile placement, but I feel like it's actually really an efficiency puzzle. You are trying to figure out ways to be the most efficient in regards to managing your workers, placing on your property board, and advancing along this track. Because if you're not careful and if you're not trying your best to be efficient, you can fall really far behind pretty quickly in this game, especially if you're playing with other people who are trying their best to make really efficient turns and trying to be really smart. So I really liked the puzzle behind that and just trying to be as efficient as possible. I feel like this game is really simple to teach as well. I pulled this out and I taught a handful of players, and it was very, very quick to teach, very, very easy to get up and moving. But like I said, because of that kind of efficiency puzzle that you kind of have to figure out, it's a game that I feel like is simple to teach, simple to play, but then it has that kind of depth to it that can make it tricky, and it can kind of become very thinky sometimes in regards to trying to plan out, again, just as efficiently as you possibly can. Another thing I really liked about the puzzle is I really liked trying to place around my trees, or try to figure out, again, the most efficient way to place around trees, or try to maneuver the particular rides that you have around them so you don't have to waste actions clearing trees. So that was, again, just kind of a fun little thing to think about. Sometimes it was frustrating, but frustrating in a satisfying way. And it was also fun because every time you cover up a symbol, you're able to gain that reward. So it was a really fun, kind of tricky little puzzle, trying to not only purchase your rides, but then placing them in your property. I also thought the length of this game was really great. I feel like it did not overstay its welcome at all. It's only 5 rounds, and every round does go by really quick, especially if you're playing with lower player counts. Like the side of the box here, it says it's a 45 to 75 minute game. I would definitely say it's like a solid 45 minute game, maybe even less. In regards to player count, my favorite player count with this game, I've yet to play the solo mode, so I can't really speak too much to that. But I do prefer this game kind of at that lower player count, like 2 to 3. I think we can go into my thoughts on 4 here in a little bit, but I did like it kind of at that lower player count. I felt like turns were kind of quicker and it was easier to kind of plan between turns. So let's chat about some of the things that I might not have been as hot on in this game, or things that I might potentially see others not liking in this game. And I think the first thing for me that I kind of wanted to chat about was the puzzle behind placing the rides in your property. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The very first time I played this game, and I read through the rulebooks and I learned it, and I learned that you couldn't place rides so they were like fully touching each other. There had to be space, space for people to walk in between the rides or whatnot. And the first time I played it, I was a little unsatisfied with it, because I feel like when you think, or as gamers, as we think of like polyomino games or something, we want everything to fit perfectly, right? Like that's very satisfying for us to have a puzzle that fits together fully. And so to have a puzzle where you can't do that, when I first played it, I was a little bit frustrated. I was like, I don't quite know if I like this. The more I played it, the more it actually grew on me, and I actually enjoy it now, because it just kind of adds that spatial element that you just also have to be aware of. But that is something that I could potentially see frustrating other people, is, getting this game, opening it, and being like, wait, I can't fully fill in my board here. So that's something to kind of be aware of, and something that I kind of noticed in the game. Now, I mentioned before that I think I preferred this game kind of at that 2 to 3 player mark. The reason why, and it's not that I dislike it at 4 players, I think the reason why I'm kind of not as fond of a 4 player count of this game is because when you are playing with 4 players, there's really not much that you can plan in between your turns. This game is kind of more of a reacting to what happens on the board instead of planning too much, and that really comes out much stronger at that 4 player count, because people are going to be taking up spaces pretty quick, and rotating the board when you didn't want it necessarily rotated that way, and then people are going to very quickly claim the exact card that you wanted to, and now the card that was revealed, there's no way to fit it onto your board. And so I just feel like that frustration of I can't really plan in between my turns too much. I just think that comes out more at a 4 player game. 2 player game, 3 player game, I feel like it's more manageable. But at that higher player count, it can sometimes be a little bit frustrating. And I don't know why this was kind of weird for me, but for some reason it was. But it's weird to me that the locations on the board that you can go and like get stuff done, like the bank, the contractor, and then the person who helps clear the trees, the arborist. It's weird that it's free to go there. And I don't know why it feels weird to me. I don't know if it's just like thematically, like I don't know why when I come here I just can get a concession stand for free, or why I come here I can clear 2 trees. This game is very tight on money, so I'm not saying necessarily that like I would like to spend money, but something about it felt weird thematically to me. It kind of felt like a little bit of like a disconnect. Like, why is she clearing my trees for free? Like, why am I getting free concessions, and why can I don't know, something about it just felt a little bit off to me. Overall, though, I really did enjoy Tenpenny Parks. I was able to play this a lot, especially with my daughter. And so, yeah, it was simple enough for her to understand and play. I kind of had to explain a couple stuff a handful of times, but she was able to very kind of quickly catch on to this game and play it. So I think it is a great game for families. And again, it's a game that's easy to teach, simple to teach, but then it also kind of has that depth and that little bit of strategy that kind of helps set it apart. So overall, coming in at my final ratings here for Tenpenny Parks, I am going to be giving Tenpenny Parks a 7.5. I really did enjoy this game. I thought it was, again, the production is amazing. It was so fun just to be able to kind of like build out your own little park. And again, it's simple to teach, simple to learn, and I really don't feel like it overstays its welcome at all. So those are all my thoughts on Tenpenny Parks. If you have played this game, please let me know what you think of it in the comments below. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel and you enjoyed this video, it would mean so much to me if you could do that. It really helps support me in everything that we are doing on the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time. Okay, I'm trying to think what my favorite roller coaster ride. Like if I had to pick one coaster, I don't know what it would be. There's so many. It would probably be, like, obviously I'd want a coaster. Well, I don't know, because sometimes you're just not in the mood for a coaster. It would probably be Pirates. I love Pirates. Probably be either that one or like the Cars ride. Because those are like my top rides in Disneyland. Oh no, but then there's Big Thunder. Ugh, I don't know. I can't decide.